Canada has a rich and diverse history, dating back thousands of years. The land was first inhabited by indigenous peoples, who had complex societies and cultures. In the 16th century, European explorers began to arrive in Canada, and the country became a colony of France and then Britain. In 1867, Canada became a self-governing dominion, and it has continued to grow and evolve since then. Today, Canada is a multicultural country with a strong economy and a high standard of living. Indigenous peoples. The first people to arrive in Canada were indigenous peoples, who came across the Bering Land Bridge from Asia thousands of years ago. Indigenous peoples developed complex societies and cultures, with their own languages, religions, and traditions. There are three main groups of indigenous peoples in Canada: First Nations, Inuit, and Métis. First Nations are the descendants of the original inhabitants of Canada. Inuit are the descendants of people who migrated to Canada from the Arctic. Métis are people of mixed indigenous and European descent. European colonization. In the 16th century, European explorers began to arrive in Canada. The first European to reach Canada was the Italian explorer John Cabot, who landed in Newfoundland in 1497. In 1534, the French explorer Jacques Cartier explored the St. Lawrence River and claimed the land for France. France established the colony of New France in what is now eastern Canada. The French fur trade was very profitable, and New France grew and prospered. However, in the 18th century, Britain and France fought a series of wars in North America. In 1763, Britain defeated France in the 7 Years' War, and New France became a British colony. British rule. Under British rule, Canada was divided into two colonies: Upper Canada, now Ontario, and Lower Canada, now Quebec. The British also established new colonies in the west, such as British Columbia and Manitoba. In the early 1800s, Canada began to move towards self-government. In 1837, there were rebellions in Upper and Lower Canada, but the British defeated the rebels. In 1867, 4 British colonies in North America, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Ontario, and Quebec, united to form the Dominion of Canada. Canada became a self-governing dominion, but it remained part of the British Empire. Confederation. Confederation was the obedient 4 British colonies in North America to form the Dominion of Canada in 1867. The 4 colonies were New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Ontario, and Quebec. Confederation was a major turning point in Canadian history, and it led to the creation of the modern-day Canada. There were several reasons for Confederation. One reason was that the colonies wanted to be more united in order to defend themselves against the United States. Another reason was that the colonies wanted to build a railway to connect the east and west of the country. Confederation would allow the colonies to share the costs of building the railway. Confederation was not without its challenges. The colonies had different cultures and economies, and they had to learn to work together. However, Confederation was a success, and it led to the creation of a strong and prosperous country. 20th century Canada. In the 20th century, Canada experienced a period of rapid growth and development. Canada participated in both World War I and World War II, and the country played an important role in the Allied victory. After the war, Canada's economy boomed, and the country became a major player on the world stage. In the 1960s and 1970s, Canada experienced a period of social and political change. The Quiet Revolution in Quebec led to a greater sense of French-Canadian identity and a demand for more autonomy for Quebec. The women's movement and the Indigenous rights movement also gained momentum during this time. In 1982, Canada achieved full independence from the United Kingdom. The Canada Act, which was passed by the British Parliament in 1982, patriated the Canadian Constitution and severed Canada's remaining legal ties to the United Kingdom. Canada today. Today, Canada is a multicultural country with a strong economy and a high standard of living. Canada is also a world leader in many areas, such as education, healthcare, and environmental protection. Canada is home to a diverse population, with people from all over the world. The two largest ethnic groups in Canada are European and British. Other large ethnic groups include French, Chinese, and Indian. Canada is a parliamentary democracy with a constitutional monarchy. The head of state is the Queen of Canada, but she is represented in Canada by the Governor-General. The Prime Minister is the head of government and is responsible for the day-to-day running.